Good morning. It's Tuesday, and today I'm going to read you a story called A Tale of Two Feathers. The first page that I hope you'll go back to has got lots of information about types of animals and when they sleep and when they're active and awake. There's another one at the back of this book, which you'll be able to see at the end. So here we go. One starry night, Otis Owl was sitting high in the trees hunting for a tasty mouse. Suddenly, he spotted a shiny blue feather. I've never seen this sort of feather before, he thought. I wonder who it belongs to. He asked his friend Nabila Nightjar, "Have you seen any birds with feathers like this?" "I've never seen this sort of feather before," said Nabila. "Why don't you ask Nigel Nightingale?" Otis took the feather to his friend Nigel Nightingale. "Have you ever seen birds with feathers like this?" he asked. "I've never seen this sort of feather before," said Nigel. "Why don't you ask Candace Corncrake?" Otis flew to see his friend Candace. "Have you ever seen birds with feathers like this?" he asked. "I've never seen this sort of feather before," said Candace. "Why don't you get some rest and search some more tomorrow night?" The sun was starting to rise and the night was nearly over. Otis returned to his tree and settled down to sleep. That morning, Kia Kingfisher was sitting by the river searching for a delicious minnow. It's a little type of fish, lives in rivers. Suddenly she spotted a stripy white feather. "I don't know any birds with feathers like this," she thought. "I wonder where it came from." She asked her friend Wilma Woodpecker, "Do you know who might have dropped this feather?" "I don't know any birds with feathers like this," said Wilma. "Why don't you ask Billy Bluetit?" Kia took the white feather to her friend Billy Bluetit. "Do you know who might have dropped this feather?" she asked. "I don't know any birds with feathers like this," said Billy. "Why don't you ask Bertie Bullfinch?" Kia flew to see her friend Bertie. "Do you know who might have dropped this feather?" she asked. "No," said Bertie Bullfinch, "I don't know any birds with feathers like this. Why don't you get some rest and search some more in the morning?" The sun had begun to set and the day was nearly over. Exhausted, Kia settled down on a branch to rest. The sun disappeared and the forest became dark. Otis woke up, ready for another night of searching for the mysterious bird, and probably searching for another tasty mouse. He stepped out of his nest and was met by the most unusual sight. Have you guessed what it might be? Right in front of his beak, sitting on his very own branch, was a bird with shiny blue feathers. "It's you!" he hooted. "What? Who?" shrieked Kia. She stared at the bird that had interrupted her sleep. It was a bird with stripy white feathers. "Oh, it's you!" And together at exactly the same time, they both shouted, "I've been looking everywhere for you." "What are you doing out at night?" asked Kia. "Well, this is when I'm awake," said Otis, confused. "Awake at night?" said Kia. "But then what do you do during the day?" "Well, I sleep, of course," said Otis. Suddenly, the mystery was solved. This was why they'd never met before. Otis had always thought that everyone slept during the day, while Kia had not realized that some animals only come out at night. "Come on," said Otis, "let me show you my world." The two new friends flew through the forest, feeling very glad to have finally found each other. Wow, gasped Kia. Everything looks so different at night time. I can't wait to see what it looks like in the daylight, said Otis. Great, let's meet again tomorrow, suggested Kia, and I can show you my world. So that is the end of the story. And this is the final page. And this is a page which has got all the creatures, not all, but many of the creatures who are awake in the daytime. That's when they're active, and they're called diurnal. And in fact, human beings are diurnal if you think about it. We are awake and active in the day. We go to sleep at night. But back here, let me just see if I can whiz back to the very first page. No, I've gone too far. Here are the animals that are active and come out at night. They're called nocturnal. So we've got nocturnal animals that come out at night, and you can see there's a barn owl, like Otis, a corncrake, another of his friends, another bird, polecats, moths, foxes, badgers, dormice, hedgehogs. These animals sleep in the day and come out at night to find their food and snuffle around in the undergrowth or fly around looking for little creatures to eat. The diurnal animals, you can have another look when you go back, are the animals that are awake and out and about in the daytime. And I want you to have a really good think about those two types of animal. See if you can find out any more types of nocturnal animals and any more types of diurnal animals. And when you get to your home learning sheet, you'll see that that is the task I've set for you today. But for now, goodbye. Thank you for joining me.